Good afternoon, Mandeville House, Mr. Kidd, Mr. Hutton, Mr. Postma, Mrs. Bett, and everyone joining over YouTube. Over the last few months, I've reflected a lot on the challenges I have faced in the past. As I have thought more and more about these experiences, I have realized that what matters most is not the experiences themselves, but how I dealt with them and how I plan on dealing with them going forward. In accordance with that, today I'll be speaking about the importance of recognizing the positive in our challenges and managing to find joy in difficult, even painful situations. There's no getting around the fact that challenges are an integral part of human life, and we devote enormous amounts of attention and energy into managing them. All experiences, from preparing to take a math quiz all the way to the agony of grieving the loss of a loved one, can constitute a challenge, a set of obstacles both physical and abstract. We dedicate our lives to facing such obstacles, dreading and stressing and crying over them, allowing them to completely overtake our thoughts and sense of purpose. When considering the devastating impact that these stressors can have on our mentality and overall happiness, it is impossible not to wonder why we allow them to affect us in this way. We cannot escape or run away from our challenges, but we are able to lessen the extent to which they affect us by approaching them with a positive outlook. No matter what, there's always something positive to focus on, some potential for a change in perspective. And okay, maybe some challenges or obstacles actually do have no bright side, but that shouldn't stop us from trying to look for it. The human mind is an incredible thing. We can spin just about anything to find a ray of light and a spark of joy. As Ridley students, our challenges are primarily academic. Of course, everyone has individual challenges when it comes to their personal lives, but our universal challenge and shared experience is that we are constantly working and studying to achieve academic success. Every day we wake up, go to school and study. We work tirelessly to pass our exams, get accepted into a good university, and eventually get a good job. We're told that if we don't succeed in school now, we will not succeed in life. This is true to an extent. A high school diploma is required for essentially any career, and it's important to do well in school. But that doesn't mean that one test is the be-all and the end-all. The challenges we face at Ridley every day are significant and trying, but we should still be able to enjoy our overall experience and our fleeting time as high schoolers. Trigonometry tests aren't most people's idea of a good time, and I'm not suggesting we find a way to enjoy every single experience. This is impossible, but finding a way to move past fixation on grades and the never-ending cycle of stress is essential to our current well-being, and I would argue, future happiness. Of course, many of us have, and all of us will, face challenges far more painful than math tests and Spanish presentations, but developing the skills now to enjoy our lives will give us the tools to find the positive in the future, more difficult situations. To be perfectly honest, I feel like a bit of a hypocrite standing up here saying all this, as anyone who knows me in even the slightest way knows how incredibly fixated I am on academic success and how indescribably stressed and worked up I get over school and grades. Finding positivity in challenges and discovering ways to actually enjoy my life day by day is something I'm terrible at. In fact, I often will completely shut down when faced with a challenge. Whether it be in academics, personal relationships, or health, I'm terrified of everything. Whenever I have an upcoming obstacle to face, I think to myself, there is no way I'll ever be done with this. It will always be looming over me, it will always be a horrible source of stress. Due to this mentality, I find it hard to see all the good things happening around me. I sense my senior year passing by and feel as though I sometimes forget to just be happy, enjoying myself and making memories. I have been at Ridley since I was 14, and I'm indescribably grateful for the time I've spent here. I don't want to waste my last 2 months with the friends who have become family, feeling stressed and unhappy. So, I'm preaching to all of you something I hope I can learn myself. People often tell me I'm a very positive person, but this isn't really true. I find it difficult to see and embrace positivity, and have a very hard time accepting myself as I am. However, I try to project optimism as I want to be an optimist. I have found that focusing on the positive and pretending to feel better about objectively bad things can help me actually feel that way. If I'm able to convince myself that something isn't so bad, then really, it isn't anymore. I am able to take away the power the stress holds over me by denying it that impact. I would argue this can be an effective approach in any situation because we are able to pretend that which we dread is actually something positive. We can and should decide for ourselves the value we place on our stresses. If the majority of our lives are spent preparing to face challenges, we need to find ways to enjoy ourselves and be happy as we do so. By recognizing that which we most dread can in fact be a beneficial and maybe even fun experience, we greatly increase our overall happiness and quality of life. If we can turn our hardships and stresses into positive experiences, we will be happier people. We will still be dealing with the same problems as we face our obstacles, but the battle to overcome will not be as trying or painful. Learning to recognize and appreciate the good and the bad is an essential life skill that will teach us gratitude and perspective, providing us more satisfaction and joy in our daily lives. Of course, putting these words into actions is much easier said than done. Like for most, 2020 was a very difficult and challenging year for me. I spent the majority of the year isolated from my friends and family, constantly terrified that my loved ones would get sick. This, coupled with other obstacles, made the past summer probably the most challenging period of my entire life. However, while I don't look back on it fondly, I am able to recognize and remember the ways I found joy. I focused on my favorite music, books, and TV shows, finding ways to distract from the negative. Now looking back, I can also recognize that this experience gave me an incredible chance to spend quality time with my family. Having been at boarding school since I was 14, I often feel disconnected from my family and sometimes wish I had spent more of my childhood with them. That being said, I wouldn't trade anything for the family and the sisters I've established in Mandeville, but like most boarders, I do get homesick. Being stuck at home from March to late November allowed me to spend more time with my mum and little sister than I had in around 3 years. In quarantine, with no one else to hang out with, I really got to know my little sister beyond the 11-year-old I left at home when I came to school. I think we grew so much closer, and for that I am so incredibly grateful. By focusing on this aspect of my summer, I can look back on it positively and feel almost nostalgic, which I think is kind of amazing. This can be done with essentially any experience. Finding the positive in the definitively bad is an essential life skill. We don't get to choose what life brings our way, but we can choose how we face and overcome our challenges, redefining and redirecting our mindset. Speaking for myself, I know that I don't want to waste my life stressing over things that I can't control. So, from here on now, I'm going to try and recognize the positivity around me. I know that sometimes challenges can feel utterly insurmountable, leaving us to wonder if there's any good in the world, questioning purpose and cause and reason. However, by seeking positive growth and recognizing the opportunities in our challenges, we allow ourselves to enjoy our lives, taking back control of our feelings and circumstances. Thank you for listening, and I hope this reflection will prove helpful as you face your own challenges, present and future.